Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā. Bhagavati uttama-shloke bhaktir bhavati nashtaki. Ārādhayo bhagavān vrajeshatanayas tadhāma vrindavanam. Ramya kāchitupāsana vrajavadhu vargena va kalpita. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam pramanamamalam prema pumartho maha. Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu matamidam tatradharana paraha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, chapter number 20, entitled The Rainy Season in the Autumn in Vrindavan. So we have read till text number 14 last time. Almost, there are total of how many verses in this chapter? 49. Yeah, we have 49 verses in this chapter. We have read 14 of those. And Prabhupada has compiled, or Prabhupada has given wonderful commentary in the book Light of the Bhagavat also, which is very, very nice, which you are reading parallelly. So even if you have not read that book in the past, you are pretty much covering it now by our reading. We are covering that also. And I keep sharing the pictures pertinent to the text we are reading, and the titles as well. Okay. So let's continue from the verse where we paused last time, that is text number 15. Giriyo varsha dharabhir hanyamana na vivyatho abhibhuyamana vyasanair yatha dhokshaja chetasaha. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Abhicharana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Just as devotees whose minds are absorbed in the personality of Godhead remain peaceful even when attacked by all sorts of dangers, the mountains in the rainy season were not at all disturbed by the repeated striking of the rain-bearing clouds. Purport: when splashed by torrents of rain, the mountains are not shaken. Rather, they are cleansed of dirt and become resplendent and beautiful. Similarly, an advanced devotee of the Supreme Lord is not shaken from his devotional program by disturbing conditions, which instead cleanse his heart of the dust of the attachment to this world. Thus, the devotee becomes beautiful and resplendent by tolerating difficult conditions. Wow. I'll reread that. Such a beautiful line. The devotee becomes beautiful and resplendent by tolerating difficult situations. In fact, a devotee accepts all reverses in life as the mercy of Lord Krishna, realizing that suffering is due to the sufferer's own previous misdeeds. Wow. This is nectar. So the title of this particular text in the book is Devotee is not disturbed by any misfortune. Rather, as we are reading here, it further cleanses. So he or she takes that as an opportunity for further advancement in one's Krishna consciousness. Like the mountain, the analogy here is like the mountain. When torrential rain falls on Giri, that's the word used, the first word, Gireo Varshadhara Bhir. When Varsha ki dhara means raindrops or rain clouds, rain-bearing clouds, when they fall on the mountains, Hanyamana, when they try to, they strike the mountains, Giri, na vyathu, not shaken by all the vyasanai. Who is not shaken? Adhokshaja chetasaha, basically Krishna conscious person, those whose minds are absorbed in the Supreme Lord. They are like the mountain. They are not shaken by the rains. Rather, and the rains here is analogous to disturbances, difficulties, dangers, like Prahlad, like Dhruva. Dangers come, like the Pandavas, so many dangers. On the contrary, rather, Kunti Maharani says, Vipada santu ta shashvat tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yatsyat apunar bhavananishat. When problems come, when dangers strike, then I'm able to remember you. Therefore, I'm praying for more problems, more difficulties. We are not copying, pasting that. We are not imitating that, but at least we can try to see what the mood is. The mood is the devotee becomes more beautiful and resplendent by tolerating difficult situations, conditions. Titikshva, Karunika. And what's the mood? It's not that, oh, why Krishna you did this to me? Why you gave a reversal in my life? A devotee accepts all reversals. Mercy of Lord. Wow. Mercy of Lord. Realizing that suffering is due to my own previous misdeed. So it's not because of he or she or why he did that, why she did that, why he did not do that or she did not. No. Or she's the cause of my suffering. He's the cause of my... It's all our own past misdeed. Others may become a via medium. Other living beings, nature, etc. Adi bhautik, adi atmik. Nonetheless, in the life of a devotee, nothing is inauspicious. In short, they are just a way to cleanse. In fact, I was just hearing before the class, one devotee whose mother passed away about 2 months back. And there could not have been a better passing away. When she got the news, she was maybe around 65 years. When she got the news that you have 4th stage cancer, there was no tinge of disturbance on her mind. Oh, wow. Now I'm going to physically see all the pastimes which I have been reading in Krishna book. Right? Like imagine like a child is attracted to Disney land. Maybe they have read books, maybe they have seen in the movies. And then their father tells them, hey, we are taking you to Disney World. Are they happy? Right? Every child, I think they will be happy, right? That they will physically see. I mean, I have not been there, so I can't explain much, but whatever little I have heard, that they'll be seeing all those characters. They'll be seeing all those which they have been reading or hearing about, right? In like face to face. So they're very excited about it. So I was relating that was the mood this lady, this Mataji, her Grace, Barsana Mataji, amazing devotee from Hyderabad, amazing, family, amazing, everything, so amazing that there was no tinge of disturbance. There was no tinge of disturbance. Rather, she gave inspiration to so many, right? I'm an initiated disciple, and I've been doing my best, and I'm sure I'm going to go back home, back to Godhead. And why are you disturbed? Her son was in US, is in US, and somehow he was trying to get to India before her mother leaves, but there were some difficulties, but somehow he was able to get a few days before. But she said, oh, my son, don't worry. Even if when you come and I'm dead, my body is dead, don't worry, right? There's nothing to worry about. In fact, I'm going to the place which I always wanted to go. That is my real home. That is my real thing. That is. Now, from an external perspective, even the doctors were shocked. Everyone was shocked. How can someone be so sober, so joyful, so like accepting? The devotee becomes more beautiful, more resplendent, and that's more accepts all those reverses as Krishna's mercy. Right, all these words are just fitting so appropriately there in her situation and in many situations. But since I read that, heard that story of this incident which just happened 2 months back, very, very inspiring, very inspiring. So, and this is not, we're not talking about 2,000 years back. We're talking about, this is like present. We can also get to that stage. We can also develop that fearlessness, right, of death, or for any situation for that matter, as long as we are adhoksha chetasaha, as the word used in this text, adhoksha chetasaha, right? Chetana means consciousness, and that's what the society is all about, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So as long as we are Krishna conscious, then nothing can shake us, like the mountain. Nothing can shake us. Any other thoughts? Any other comments anyone has? The picture for this verse is pretty much the same as the last one. I mean, if you recall, there were 2 pictures in there. One was the sea and the other was the mountains also. So the point was that the mountains are not shaken, as we see here, but the sea is shaken. So, okay, so let's move on to the next verse. Would someone like to read? I didn't get a chance yesterday, maybe. Text number 16, 16. Yes, no.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, devotees, Nityaṁ, all those to Śrīmad, text number 16. Marga bahuva sandiktas anes chaina hi asmat chita navasyama na suyat sutoya dvija kalena chahata. Translation by disciples of His Divine Grace from Śrī Prabhupada ki Jai. During the rainy season, the roads, not being cleansed, became covered with grass and debris, and were thus difficult to make out. These roads were like religious scriptures that Brahmanas no longer study, and thus became corrupted and covered over with the passage of time. Very wonderful comparison. So here you can see that how in the rainy season, of course here, if we don't mow our grass, it grows, and the debris and all, we have to keep it clean. The same way, we are getting to comparison, like the religious scriptures that has been provided by Lord Krishna himself. The Brahmanas, or even the regular people who don't cultivate that, and they become corrupted. Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita that this message was, not the first time I'm giving, have given, millennium after millennium. But during the course of succession, it was lost because of some of the corrupt or, some other factors. But we can see that, just by reading Bhagavad Gita and passing it to the next generation, everyone will be very happy. So it's my understanding. Please, I have a question.
Hare Krishna. So very nicely Prabhuji explained in this verse. And the title for this verse is Forgetting Our Eternal Relationship of Lord. So what happens? As the road, right? As the road not being cleansed gets covered with grasses and debris. So we don't know like what is where, and then we may even fall, right? There could be a pothole, or it's covered with grass, or it's covered with dirty water. It's a recipe for like disaster, right? I'm sure we all have experienced that in some point of our life, especially in India. Like there are roads flooded with water, and sometimes there could be a big hole, and I mean it has led to serious accidents and even deaths. I know like children sometimes fall in those, and it could be a manhole. This is serious. So that covering is basically the ignorance, right? And what is that road compared to? The road is compared to the brahmanas or the devotees. Now, if we try to kind of understand it through this, the context here. So we are, that iron example is quite relevant here. So on one side, this covering, consider this as the bad covering, right? Materialistic covering, right? If we do not practice bhakti, which includes studying scriptures, then what are we covering the road of our consciousness with every day? Different modes, ignorance, passion, etc. Right? Different modes. We're just laying different colors on it, right? And that's just getting worse. But when we take the process of bhakti, that means studying scriptures, performing our daily sadhana, without deviation, then we are doing the cleansing process, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. That again, that road of our consciousness, gradually it becomes clean again. And all these different layers, different coverings, are taken, are removed, slowly, step by step. So in short, the point here is that we must regularly read and hear scriptures, and that's the whole objective of this group, so that we can come together. Prabhupada did emphasize a lot on the reading of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam every day. All the temples it's done. Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtana Bhāgavata-sevayā Mathura Vasa Shri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevana Sakala Sadhana Shreshta A Pancha Anga Krishna Prema Janmai Puna Mukhya Anga. These are the 5 main limbs of bhakti. And one of them is reading Bhagavatam regularly, reading or hearing. If we do not do that, what is this verse saying? Will become corrupted, will become covered over with the passage of time. And that's so true. Because material covering is happening every day. Correct? We are living in this world, we're going out, if we are not doing this, then we are doing something else. Correct? If we are not reading Bhagavatam, we are reading newspapers and magazines. If we are not hearing Krishna Katha, maybe we are hearing some gossip, some Hollywood, Bollywood songs and movies. So we are getting some covering. Either we are cleansing the impure, or we are adding more layer of impure. The choice is ours. Hare Kṛṣṇa. And if we keep adding the impure, that means if we stop the study of Bhagavat, it will be very difficult to make out our true consciousness. Right? The more we get away from this, the more we will kind of be lost. And therefore, many people don't even feel that there is even need to spend 5 minutes reading of Bhagavad Gita, because the consciousness is so thick, covering of materialism is there, that 5 hours of movies will seem wonderful, but 5 minutes of Gita will seem troublesome. Hare Krishna. Any other thoughts anyone has? Okay, let's read the next verse, text number 17. Anyone feeling inspired, wants to read? Prabhu, you want to try?
Sure. Hare Krishna devotees. Text 17. Loka bandhushu megeshu vidyutas chala sauradaha staryam na chakruhu kaminyaha puruseshu guneshu iva. Translation and purport for the disciples of Śrī Prabhupada. Jai to the disciples and Śrī Prabhupada. Though the clouds are the well-wishing friends of all living beings, the lightning, fickle in its affinities, moved from one group of clouds to another, like lusty women, unfaithful even to virtuous men. Purport. Srila Prabhupada comments, during the rainy season, lightning appears in one group of clouds and then immediately in another group of clouds. This phenomenon is compared to a lusty woman who does not fix her mind on one man. A cloud is compared to a qualified person because it pours rain and gives sustenance to many people. A man who is qualified similarly gives sustenance to many living creatures, such as family members of many workers in business. Unfortunately, his whole life can be disturbed by a wife who divorces him. When the husband is disturbed, the whole family is ruined. The children are dispersed or the business is closed, and everything is affected. It is therefore recommended that a woman desiring to advance in Krishna consciousness peacefully live with a husband, and that the couple not separate under any condition. The husband and wife should control sex indulgence and concentrate their minds on Krishna consciousness so that their life may be successful. After all, in the material world, a man requires a woman and a woman requires a man. When they are combined, they should live peacefully in Krishna consciousness and should not be restless like the lightning flashing from one group of clouds to another. So, Hare Krishna. So here, in this purport, analogies between the, again, clouds and lightning, and the family relations between a man and a woman. And just as when the clouds become thick and dark, then there will be lightning will fall off from there. And as soon as that water dissipates or rains, then the next cloud may become thick and dark, and the lightning moves from that previous cloud to this cloud and so on. So similarly, in this, the family is also being compared that way. The family life can be disrupted, and although here women are mentioned, but really it applies to both everyone, men and women. And if a family life is disturbed, when a man and woman can't live amicably and divorce because of some petty reasons or whatever the reason is, then the progeny, the children and everyone, they're all disturbed. So the only way this can work is if both in this case, the man who is the provider is being compared to the cloud, where he provides for the family, maybe he's running a business and so on and so forth. So only way this can work is if both are in Krishna consciousness, and that way then many of these material insignificant problems that arise from day to day will seem insignificant. So that's my take on it. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very well said. And this purport is as it is from Light of Bhagavat, because Light of Bhagavat is basically Prabhupada has given that, and therefore disciples are mentioning here Srila Prabhupada comments. Where is it commented? Light of Bhagavat, as it is. So it is like what, like from the first word to the last word, it's the same. So I won't repeat that since we already read it. The title for this verse is A Peaceful Krishna Conscious Family. Now, this is a very important topic, and in our Iskcon society, there are almost every Vaishnava, like those who give classes, any senior Vaishnava, spiritual masters, sannyasis, grihastha, they have all spoken in great length about this topic, grihastha ashram, how to be happy in Krishna conscious family life. Because 99% of the Iskcon population, where is it? It's in the family life. They are not renounced sannyasis. They are not renounced brahmacharis. There are some, maybe 1 or 2%, but where is the majority? The majority is in the grihastha ashram, the family life. Therefore, it is very important and integral how to have a harmonious, congenial relationship. Because in this age of Kali Yuga, where divorce rates are quite high, the kala, the quarrel and hypocrisy is very, very high. That's why it's called Kali Yuga, because the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. So it's very hard to keep congenial relationships. But Prabhupada is giving us the formula that the husband and wife should control the sex indulgence and concentrate their minds. Again, adhoksha chetasa, become Krishna conscious and control the temptations. Not compare each other's husbands or not compare each other's wives. There will always be someone who's earning more. There will always be someone who's more beautiful. There will always be someone who has a better car. There will always be someone who has a better house. So it applies to both, as Prabhuji said. So husband should not wander around and see, oh, his wife looks more beautiful, or his wife has more qualities, or his wife makes better, food, or there's no end to that. And the wife should not see, oh, his husband is more, her husband is more this, and her husband is more that. And this is the point here. The lightning keeps moving from one to the other, like lusty men or lusty women, unfaithful to the virtuous. The husband may have a lot of good qualities, But if the wife is not content and happy, then she'll always look for something which, like, not appreciating what God has given us, but rather than seeing what not, then we'll never be grateful for what we have and always looking for what we don't. And that's a disaster recipe. And that leads to a lot of breakdown. The whole family is disturbed. Relationships are, if they end up separation and divorce and all that, it not only affects them individually, husband, wife, it also affects others connected. It could be children, it could be extended family, it could be their work lives, it could be so there is considerable impact, as Prabhupada is mentioning. Everything is affected. I'm reading from the purport itself. So in short, we must try to have a peaceful Krishna conscious family, and do our best to be part of solution, and help others also, because there are a lot of easier said than done kind of thing, a lot of practical sometimes challenges, and everyone is a different phase of life, and so there's a lot of room for improvement in this aspect, even in International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So Hare Krishna. Any other thoughts anyone has in this connection?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So sometime back you showed a triangle where Krishna is on the top and the spouse is on the bottom. That's actually a very practical one, because if they concentrate on the Krishna activities, consciousness, serving devotees, Krishna, then they will actually come closer rather than going parallel or further. So that's a very example and practical. I think devotees follows that mostly.
Hare Krishna, very good, Prabhu. I think it's a very good reminder. So I'll just share it again so that we all can see it one more time as Prabhuji shared. And I this is not mine actually. Again, I just share from what I hear and read from. This was shared by His Grace Chaitanya Prabhu. So it's often a very good idea to give the credit to where it belongs to. That nothing is ours. We are just copying, pasting. So yeah, you see this triangle, husband, wife, and here is Radha Krishna, the divine couple.
You did not share yet.
Oh, sorry. Thanks. So I was drawing, but I forgot to hit that share button. So husband, wife at the two edges or the endpoints of the triangle. What do you call them? I forgot. Edges? Corners?
Base. Huh? The base of the triangle.
No, I meant the corners. What do you call them?
Vertices from my 5th grade, maybe? Is it vertices?
No.
Angles?
Okay, the angle is different. Let's call it corners. Okay, we all know what I'm talking about. These endpoints. Okay, angle is this thing. Okay, we all know what it is. So we're talking about the 3 edges or the three corners of a triangle. So one corner is husband, one corner is wife, and right now they're quite far from Radha Krishna. They're quite far from each other. So this gap is also more, right? But if they continue to move towards Krishna together, now let's say they are here, the husband and wife. They have made their journey gradually towards Krishna. Few things happened. The distance between them and Krishna reduced individually, and beautiful thing happened as well. The distance between them, husband and wife, which was a lot here, also reduced. That is bhakti. So between the couple is a divine couple. This was shared by His Grace Chaitanya Prabhu in a nice class. So very, very practical, and that's what Prabhupada encourages a lot. Also, yes, there is the whole team, Grihastha, Counseling team, Grihastha, mentorship. There's so many lectures on this topic, which we should take advantage of. I mean, we must take advantage, because there's a lot of like practical aspects also. I mean, bhakti is the most practical thing, but sometimes like the way we talk, our intent is something, but sometimes the content may be something. No one wants to intentionally, and no good person, no genuine person, which they don't want to intentionally hurt someone, right? Does anyone want to intentionally plan ill for other person? No, right? No one wants that. At least a sober person. We're not talking about some ruffians or some dacoits who are trying to intentionally loot a bank or intentionally murder something. We're talking about gentle, normal people. No one has bad intentions to intentionally harm their friend, their wife, their husband, etc. Right? But why it still happens? That's something one should introspect. And lot is tied to communication, the way we talk. So all those aspects, those practical tools also, we should try to learn. We should try to get better at those also. Communication is a very, very big thing. And it applies to every relationship: God brothers, God sisters, families, devotees, husband, wife, son, daughter, mother, father, any relationship. These principles will be helpful for sure.
One more thing I want to share, that in the 1 or 2 generations back, especially in India, we never heard about the word the divorce, because we're living in a joint family, close knitted, and husband wife rarely has time to talk actually, unless until everybody goes to rest. But now, being a very isolated family, so most important person, husband and wife, kids are small, so more the negative things easily come out to other sides. But when you take our Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada, Krishna as a personality, and increase of family members, that again we go back to the joint family, and the concentration to each other goes less and less, and it helps the family to stay together.
Very nice. Very nice, Joe. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Hare Kṛṣṇa. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji.
Very cool, Mataji. Please share your
Hare
thoughts.
Kṛṣṇa. No, Prabhu, 2 weeks ago, a friend of mine, my friend, both are friends to me, the wife and the husband also. So 2 weeks ago, the husband complains about the wife. And yesterday, the wife came to me complaining about the husband. So I think I'm going to explain to them through that triangle, which is very helpful, how they are going apart from each other, because the Prabhu goes to the temple regularly, but the wife doesn't. This is what I'm going to explain. I think it's a very nice explanation, this triangle. Because now I'm asking you, should I do it separately or can I do it together, Prabhuji? Both, inviting both husband and wife as an advisor. Because they have both come to me.
But they both are devotees?
Yes. Both. Very difficult.
See, these are the situations when there is no one answer. So you are the best person to analyze that and pray to Krishna to give you the right words, pray to Krishna to give the right intent and the right timing. Everything is important. Sometimes the intent is good, the content is also good, but the timing is not right. So it requires a lot of emotional intelligence also. Let's say our intent is good, the way we are talking is also good, but that person is coming from someone's funeral, right? So we have to, I'm just giving examples, and there's no like one right answer. You know them best. You know their strengths and weaknesses, hopefully to some extent. You know what kind of relationship you have with both of them. So I can't answer that question without, just knowing a few very minute aspects. So yeah, I mean, our society certainly, these topics come many times, and therefore there's a lot of Grihastha counselors, mature devotees who have experiential plus devotional, both knowledge. So yeah, take your time and do your, like, what you want to talk, how you want to talk, when you want to talk, individually or together, and Krishna will certainly guide you. Whenever you're talking, always read something. See, again, the intent is good, right? Every wife wants the husband to be happy, healthy, joyful. And every husband also wants wife to be happy, healthy, Krishna conscious. But where is the gap? There is some gap, right? And that's
the children are much disturbed. No? The children very much disturbed. The children.
Yes, that's Prabhupada is writing. Everything gets affected. Business. How
Even the
if someone has a
business.
lot of this running in the mind, how will they focus on work? Impossible. So we hope and pray that the couple improves, and we pray that Krishna gives the right words to help them and try to reunite them in a very constructive and harmonious relationships.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay, picture time. So what is this picture showing us? It is from the last verse. You see, the road is covered with long grasses, and in the rainy season, the grass also grows very fast. So the Brahmana not studying, I mean, it's covered. It's the path, and the people, they are kind of they lose the path. So if someone, and now I'm like extending this analogy. So if some people come to the Brahmana, they will not know where to go. I mean, the Brahmana will not be able to guide them because he's himself confused or lost the direction. So the people these passengers, these travelers, they are seeking the Brahmana's guidance, and the Brahmana himself is lost. How will he guide others? Pathan means to study. Pathan means to teach. Very important aspects of Brahmana or devotees. Okay, what is this telling us? What is this picture connected to?
Clouds and lightning.
Clouds changing.
Clouds and lightning. Okay. So this is the current verse we are reading. Lightning's moving from one cloud to the other like an unchaste person. So the point is we should be happy with Lord Ram, like following the example of Lord Ram, Ekapatni Vrata. Whatever God has blessed me with, it is my own destiny. However he or she is, my spouse, and Ramayana says that for the spouse is the best friend, right? And you should try to develop that kind of friendship with our spouse, husband, wife, and be happy and grateful that God has given us more than what we deserve, more than what we can imagine, right? And during the time of the Vivah Samskar, that's one of the main samskar, the most important samskar actually, they take vows. They take 7 vows and multiple vows in every culture, in every custom. But how many people really comprehend on those? We should meditate upon those vows. Really, we should meditate upon those vows. What vows have I taken in front of God, fire, brahmanas, family members, demigods? Right? We should meditate that these are the vows I have taken. Ups and downs come in everyone's life. There are always good or bad and bad days in everyone. But if we meditate, then we'll stay strong. Yes. So yeah, that was the picture.
Hare
Yes.
Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji, for myself, my experiences. Sometimes you want to fight in the family, I'm telling. Sometimes you want to fight, but you can't find time because you got a big book to read. Sometimes say, okay, I'll say, when my husband comes, I'm going to tell this and that, I'm going to fight with him like that. But then when he comes, you don't have time because you've got so many books to read on Prabhupada. You got so many books to read. You want to finish your books. You want to finish this canto and that canto. So you don't have time to fight. So you keep on postponing the fight. You sit till you forget about it completely. So I think Bhagavatam is going to help. This is my experience. Postponing the fight, postponing till you forget about it because you don't have time. This is my experience.
Very nice idea. Good.
So much to read.
Yeah, whatever best works, as there's no like one good formula. If that helps, excellent. If that anger, okay, I'll express anger, but after 2 hours, anger is gone, right? Okay, good. Any other thoughts? Anyone? Okay.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji.
Let's move on to text 18. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Prabhuji, I was hearing too. His praise Nityaṁ Sevani Mataji this morning. Mataji also mentioned exactly same thing. So try to postpone, if it is like bad thing, or even if husband and wife was to, fight, they have a rule that don't talk to each other, but write it down on a piece of paper and try to read it again the next day and see if it still feels the same, rather than talking and fighting on the same day, and read it again and then the next day. In a week's time, you'll feel that whatever you have written is completely opposite. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Very well. Thank you for sharing that. Very nice. Yes, Philip Prabhu, please.
I was going to offer to read if you were ready for that.
Sure. How can we reject such an offer?
Okay. It's text 17, correct?
18. Yeah, it's
18,
open now.
sorry. Oh, okay, I see. Sorry. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai and disciples Ki Jai. Dhanur Vyati Vahendram Nirgunam Cha Gunini Abhat Yakte Guna Vyatikare Gunavan Purusho Yata. When the curved bow of Indra, the rainbow, appeared in the sky, which had the quality of a thundering sound, it was unlike ordinary bows because it did not rest upon a string. Similarly, when the Supreme Lord appears in this world, which is the interaction of the material qualities, he is unlike ordinary persons because he remains free from all material qualities and independent of all material conditions. Purport. Srila Prabhupada comments as follows. Sometimes, in addition to the roaring thunder of the clouds, there is an appearance of a rainbow, which stands as a bow without a string. Actually, a bow is in the curved position because it is tied at its two ends by the bowstring. But in the rainbow, there is no such string, and yet it rests in the sky so beautifully. Similarly, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead descends to this material world, he appears just like an ordinary human being, but he is not resting on any material condition. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that he appears by his internal potency, which is free from the bondage of the external potency. What is bondage for the ordinary creature is freedom for the personality of Godhead. Wow, so beautifully described in the Bhagavatam and so clearly explained. I will just try to reflect that perhaps in the process of bhakti and the deepening of bhakti and devotional service by the grace, by Krishna's grace, we surrender to a point where the string that holds the bow, which is a weapon of war, is snapped, and sort of the ahamkara, I consciousness, is sort of replaced with true jivatman surrender to paramatman. And what used to be in ignorance a very tense string holding together a weapon of war is more accurately described as a rainbow, a grace, a rainbow of just grace, you know, and the rain is like grace, and then the rainbow comes. And that is when Krishna is seated upon our hearts and we are internally in his orbit as his pure devotees, then nothing is bondage. There is no weapon of war anymore. The string has been obliterated and the rainbow is instead replaced. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very, very nicely you mentioned this. This verse is entitled The Transcendental Quality of Lord and His Devotees. So, we all have, I believe, seen a bow, right? In India, during the Ram Leela time, the Dashera time, you know, kids really enjoy that. They get a bow. Let's try to use this whiteboard. So we all have seen the bow, right? How is that? For simplicity purpose, I'll just draw it like this, okay, without complicating it too much. Consider this as a bow. The bow and the arrow, then there is some mechanism, tie the thread or the rope, and it's connected on the two ends. Is that right? That's how it is. So that's how ordinary bows are, right? But the rainbow, unlike the ordinary bows, does not rest upon a string. So the string is also called guna. Or the string, or the rope, the word guna has multiple meanings. Guna means modes. Guna means rope or string. So guna means different qualities. So all the other living beings are tied or bound by the string of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Correct? Right? We are puppets in the hands of these modes, right? Sometimes one mode is active, sometimes the other mode is active, right? What's that famous verse? Devi Esha Gunamai Mamma Dhruteya. Right? We are bound in these modes, Mamma, by the energy, the material energy. But Krishna is called Nirguna. So he is like the rainbow without this string. In short, he is not bound by these modes. When he does an activity of stealing butter, it's not a mode of ignorance or mode of passion activity. When he is dancing with the gopis, it's not a mode of passion or lust. When he is taking rest, it's not mode of ignorance. It's all transcendental. Janma karma chame divyam. It's all pure, spiritual, and transcendental. And there's a beautiful picture also of the rainbow from the Oriental paintings as well. So this is the rainbow without the string. And that is here analogous to the Supreme Lord. And his activities, his appearance, it is all transcendental. That means free. It is all free from the material dualities. Any more comments, thoughts anyone has? Any questions, corrections before we pause for today? Anyone would like to add?
Yeah,
Okay.
so that,
Yes.
that's also his internal potency, right? Is it the internal potency and external potency? So he's the qualities, the gunas, everything. Those are the external potency. That's what we are experiencing. Is that correct?
That is correct. The Maya Shakti. I mean, ultimately, it's manifestation of internal energy, but it's the one which runs the pure devotees are under the internal energy. Mahatmanas tumam partha devim prakriti mashritaha. They are the Devi Prakriti, or the internal energy. But the majority, they are under the external energy. They are working under the external energy influenced by goodness, passion, ignorance. Yes. Pure devotee's anger is not under the external potency. Like Prabhupada, he would get sometimes angry, but that for a greater cause. But that is also transcendental. Narad Muni would get angry, right? He cursed. He cursed Nalkuvira Manigriva, but their curse is not a product of ignorance or passion. Because whatever they do is purely transcendental.
Thank you.
Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Jagat Guru Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyaiva cha, Titanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you so much. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Jai Śrīla Prabhupada.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji, 100 pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji.